2025 was the year of simplistic, predictable stories with really solid execution, going back to the roots, embracing the campiness, proving that for a movie to be fun, it does not need to be complicated. Number 17. This movie has some of the best stunt work I have seen this year, but also has some of the worst exposition I have seen this year, or maybe in years. It's Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. All this movie had to do was do amazing stunt work, be a little bit funny at times, and that's it. But rather, it takes itself way too seriously, and that drags down the whole experience, which breaks my heart considering Mission Impossible is one of my favorite movie franchises. But still, all the stunts are worth watching, even if you have to skip through a lot of dialogues. Number 16. Now this movie has some of the best casting I have seen whole year, but kinda ruins itself by making the plot and characters both overly complicated and messy. We're talking about Superman. This movie was extremely fun, 100 times better than Man of Steel, and a massive step in right direction. But I wish they had saved the Justice Gang stuff for sequels and focused only on key three members on the first movie because they were just that good. And the plot is, as I said, it's a bit too all over the place. Number 15. Now, halfway watching into this movie, it was going to be into my worst list, but by the end, something clicked in my head and I understood why everyone likes this movie so much. I'm talking about If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. This movie was more scary and anxiety-inducing than any of the horror movies on this list. The sheer burden of being a single parent and trying to deal with mental health problems, adulthood, and raising a child who needs consistent attention because of medical issues can create this nightmare that is just simply terrifying. Only problem is movie overdoes the amount of negative characters, and there are quite a few trippy sequences that didn't work for me. Still a great movie, check it out. Number 14. If you look at me carefully, you'll notice that I'm not a 14-year-old kid. But that did not stop me from absolutely enjoying K-pop Demon Hunters. I love animation, I love good pop music, I love funny stuff, and this movie has all of it in very high quality. When I finished watching this movie, I sincerely wished they had released it in cinema because this movie is just that good looking. I did think some of the jokes were cringe, but I think that's because I am an old geezer and this movie is made for people much younger than me. But overall, the action is well choreographed, the jokes are very funny, I love the cat, and at the end, my little soda pop. Hey! Number 13. Next is a movie that I wanted to love but ended up kinda liking it. The movie is Weapons. It is actually one of the better mainstream horror movies. It's from the director of Barbarian. This movie has better filmmaking, but for me Barbarian was more fun. The inclusion of comedy sometimes works, but sometimes doesn't. The mystery is sometimes satisfying, but sometimes it is not. But at the end, it is still a very high quality horror movie with a lot of intentionality and amazing stuff in it, so check it out. Number 12. Do you know Love, Death and Robots? Imagine they had a 90-minute long episode about the Predator franchisee. Yeah, well, that will get you Killer of Killers. It is a solid action-packed anthology-style movie about predators in different time eras. Dan Trachtenberg absolutely kills it. And I wish this movie also had a theatrical release because it just looks that amazing. I think the only issue is that the formula feels a bit repetitive by the end. And after an awesome movie, I feel they struggle a little bit to stick the landing. But overall, amazing movie. Check it out if you're into sci-fi action or animation. Number 11. Okay, now this movie, I don't understand the hate behind it because when I saw it, I just had a blast. I'm talking about Ballerina. I really like how grounded Ana de Armas' character is, but still very strong and effective. And I also appreciated how they handled the Keanu Reeves cameo. Fantastic action, just like all the other John Wick movies. I mean, it got grenades, flamethrowers, and a bunch of dudes dying left and right. What more do you want? Number 10. Do you know what's fun? Watching corporate CEOs being kidnapped and then being tortured by absolute psychopath conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I'm talking about Begonia. Both lead characters have such a solid chemistry. The shift of power dynamic throughout the movie is just pure entertainment. Strong acting, strong directing, just overall great presentation. My only problem is that the ending tries a bit too hard to be shocking and it doesn't work for me. But still, if you're into horror and thriller kind of stuff, check it out. You're gonna have a good time. Number 9. Okay, this is a weird one. Because no matter how much I think, I have zero problems with this movie, which should make it my number one of the year. But at the end of the day, I guess art is subjective, and I did not emotionally connect with this movie that much. The movie is one battle after another. I don't understand why people say it's some left wing propaganda, even though this movie makes fun of both sides and just how ridiculous extremists look. At least that's how I saw it. Benicio del Toro was the best part of it. If you want to watch a political movie that has a lot of nuance, also a lot of comedy, and overall just very well paced and also really nice thriller, check this movie out. Number 8. Do you know what's better than a zombie movie? A zombie movie where you actually care about the characters. I'm talking about 28 years later. The relationship between a father and a son and then a mother and a son is just explored in a beautiful way. It really shows you how messed up it can be to raise a child in such a horrid environment. My only problem is that the setup for sequel was really bad. like really bad in contrast to how good the actual movie is. Number 7. One day, Joseph Kosinski was eating popcorn and he suddenly thought that, what if instead of planes go fast, we have car go fast? And bam, we have F1. One of the craziest adrenaline rush I felt this year in the cinema. I don't understand F1 races at all. The story is cliche as it gets, and I did not care. The cars going fast was just so entertaining and so well put together. Class filmmaking on display. It also helps that all the characters are very likable, they have great chemistry with each other, and they do not come into the way of cars going fast. Really fun movie, I had an amazing time, check it out. Number 6. I think James Cameron wanted to make Way of Water Part 2, but he realized that people won't like it. So he thought, you know what, Way of Water Part 2, but this time with 8-foot tall sexy alien lady. And suddenly everybody is on board and he has his $4 billion movie. This movie does not have a good story. It is the weakest in the franchise, but James Cameron reminds you why movies are a visual medium, and sometimes just having amazing images on screen is more than enough to carry everything. However, this franchise is now definitely on thin ice. They have to innovate with the 4th movie, otherwise it's not gonna work. The formula is way too repetitive and old now. But that 8-foot tall lady though. Number 5. Now this movie is primarily an action zombie movie, but ironically, the best part about this movie is when people just sit down and talk with each other. The dialogue and character work in this movie is phenomenal. The setup is more interesting than the payoff. I'm talking about Sinners. Oh my god, this movie was such a blast to watch on a big screen. That music sequence alone is worth putting this movie in top 10. Acting is amazing. The music is solid. The action, actually, you know what? Action left a little bit to be desired in this movie for me, and I think that is the weakest part. The ending feels slightly underwhelming compared to just how good the character and dialogue work is. Watch this movie if you haven't already. It's basically a high quality adaptation of a Stephen King story, but story is actually now written by Ryan Coogler, if you know what I mean. Number 4. Do you know what's amazing? Watching somebody do something that they absolutely love. Dan Trachtenberg loves Predators, and it clearly shows in Predator Badlands. There are now 4 worth watching Predator movies, and 3 of them are made by Dan Trachtenberg. 2 of them are on this list. I did not see this movie coming, it hit me like a truck. Both story and characters are very basic and simple, but this movie is a clear example of why execution matters a lot. From beginning to end, I was smiling ear to ear watching this movie. Characters are so entertaining that even Planet itself is a great character. It is scary, funny, creepy, and thrilling all at the same time. Plus, for a simple story, it still manages quite a few twists and turns. This movie made me feel like a child again and reminded me why I love action-adventure movies so much. Also check out his movie Prey from 2022, that is also an absolute banger. Number 3. Now initially I thought this movie was pretty good, but while trying to review it, I absolutely fell in love with it. The movie is Wake Up Dead Men. I think I already like Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc more than James Bond. So many amazing dialogue scenes, solid pacing, And the best part is that instead of giving you a big reward at the end of the movie, like how the mystery happened, they give you a nice reward every 5 minutes with something interesting happening, and then they give you the big reward anyway. What more do you want? A solid exploration of power dynamics and how some of the religious leaders use it to abuse their followers. I can't wait for the fourth movie. I'm already counting days. It got me that excited about it. Number 2. What if you take rom-com, horror, thriller, and comedy and blend it all together? At first I was a bit hesitant to put this movie this high on the list, but then I realized it's my list. I can do whatever I want. The movie is Companion. This movie has everything in perfect amount exactly as I like. It's a new and interesting take on cabin in the woods trope. The movie makes really great commentary on the rising gooning and incel culture. Lucky me that I saw this movie without any trailers. I just saw the poster and I saw a bunch of people saying that, hey, this new Companion movie is good. So I went ahead and saw it, and I'm so happy that I saw it without trailer. That changes a lot. So if you haven't already, don't watch the trailer and directly watch the movie. It makes it 10 times better. But I think even after getting spoiled, this movie offers more than enough that you can have an amazing time. Sophie Thatcher's performance is so underrated in this movie. Huey here also kills his part, does a really good job at making you hate him. I mean, at times this movie has better comedy than dedicated comedies, while still maintaining its horror and thriller aspects. The only problem I have is that there is this Russian character which is way too cliche and cookie cutter and sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the movie. Number 1. The best part about making this list was that number 1 was the easiest choice for me this year. I loved this movie that much. I felt like a different person after completing it. The movie is Train Dreams. It lives up to its name. It's a story of a man who is walking through his life in form of a dream, and you are a bystander witnessing it all. It creates a beautiful experience that crushes your soul at times. There is a scene where two characters hug each other, and it is so beautifully done that you feel warmth in your heart. Of course, it kills it in all the technical departments, like visually and like audio-wise. Like the entire experience is phenomenal. It is art house, but still accessible. It is philosophical, but not pretentious. It is somber, but well paced. It is gorgeous, yet gut-wrenching. When you finish it and leave your room, the world around you seems a little bit different. The man in the mirror seems a little bit different, because maybe he is. I'm so glad that I saw this movie at this stage in my life, because if this movie came out 10 or 15 years ago and I saw it, I might not have appreciated it the way I did this time. Joel Edgerton is phenomenal in this movie. So yes, Train Dreams is my favorite movie of 2025. I highly recommend that you don't look at any of the trailer footage and just directly watch this movie in a quiet, peaceful room. So those are my best movies of 2025. The list for worst movies of 2025 should be ready in a couple of days, so be ready for that one. I will see you next time. Till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with fiction.